You guys, my YouTube family, how are y'all doing? It's your girl, Authentically Stacy. Let's get started. We are here because your girl has been natural for about 8 years now, and usually I get my hair straightened because I've been afraid of this here, of my curls, of me not being able to get my hair together. No matter what I seem to do over the years, my hair just wouldn't get moisturized. It will always be dry and frizzy, and I never understood why. It will always be just no moisture at all could get in. So what I decided to do recently was to stop getting my hair straightened for a little minute and do a little bit of research of why my hair has been this way for the past 8 years. 8 years ago, I did the big chop, cut off all my hair. And, you know, my hair just started growing. However, a lot of the times I used to wear it in a pony pub. So, I mean, I would literally just spray some oil and water on it like I saw on the YouTube videos, and it would just be dry the next day. So I figured that's how it was supposed to be. However, had I done my research, I would have known how to take care of my hair. So first things first, I want to get you all some help as I help myself, because I'm starting a new journey. Even though I've been natural for 8 years, I'm starting a new journey on how to really take care of my hair and to have it retain moisture. All right, so we're going to start out talking about hair porosity. What is it? It's basically how thirsty your hair is. And there are 3 types. Your first one is low porosity. Next is medium or normal porosity. And the last one is high porosity. What helps me in my head envision what type of porosity, you know, I may be or you may be is a Christmas tree. So if you think about a Christmas tree, a fake one that you take out of the box and it might be shrink wrapped or, you know, wrapped up with some string or whatever. When it comes out of the box, it's like this. And what you have to do is basically flare it out to, you know, be able to make it look good and pretty, and you know, you fluff it out real good so you can put your decorations on there. But when it starts off, it's shrink wrapped, right? I want you to think of that as low porosity hair. So low porosity hair, your hair cuticle is going to be shut. Okay, so if it's shut, if you try to get into a Christmas tree, it's going to be really hard to get up in there. That's low porosity hair. It's hard for moisture to get in. Also, if you get your hand up in there, it might be a little bit hard as well to get your hand back out. So it's hard for moisture to get in, and it's hard for moisture to get out once it's sealed. Okay, so that's low porosity hair. You can get that. It's hard to get that moisture in there, but once it's in, it's kind of stuck, which is what we want, because we want your hair to stay moisturized. Okay, the next one is medium or normal porosity hair. If you think about a Christmas tree again, once you fluff that Christmas tree out a little bit, you're going to have the cuticles of your hair, or you're going to have the branches of the Christmas tree come out a little bit. So if you try to get your hand in there into that Christmas tree, you can get it in a little bit more easily than you would have been able to with that shrink wrap Christmas tree. Getting your hand back out, it's a little bit easier, right? So same thing with moisture. With medium or normal porosity hair, you can get that moisture in there a little bit easier than you can the low porosity hair. And it also comes out easier than it does with the low porosity hair. So it kind of goes in a little bit easier than low porosity, comes out a little bit easier than low porosity, if that makes sense. The last one is high porosity hair. So think about that Christmas tree again. You fluffed out that Christmas tree real nice and pretty, and you're ready to put those ornaments and things on there. Think about putting your hand in that Christmas tree. It's easy to get it in, and it's just as easy to get it out. You get it in and you get it out. Same with moisture. When you put moisture into your hair and you have high porosity hair, you can get that moisture in. But guess what? If you don't seal that Christmas tree back down, if you don't seal that cuticle back down, then it's easy to come out as well. There are a few different tests to find out what type of porosity your hair has. And the first test is the single strand test. So what you can actually do is get a single strand of hair like this, and you can start from the bottom of that piece and run your fingers firmly up and down the shaft. And I want you to really feel any ragged edges on your hair strand. If you are kind of struggling a little bit to get it up, then that's high porosity hair. If it's kind of smooth up and down and you don't feel like any ridges or your fingers like stopping a little bit, you might be normal porosity, or if it's really, really smooth, then low porosity. The second test that you can do is take a strand of your hair, and it needs to be a clean strand of hair so that you don't have any buildup or anything like that. You can truly get the results that you need. Take a single strand of your hair, pluck it out, make sure it's nice and clean, and I want you to stick it in a cup of lukewarm water. Just take it, snatch it out, make sure it's clean, and stick it in a cup of lukewarm water. I did mine here, and my strand, it's probably been sitting here for maybe about like 20 minutes, and my strand is basically at the top of the cup. So that means I have low porosity hair. Some of the end of the strands are going down a little bit. So I would say maybe medium to low porosity, but it's leaning more toward the low porosity side. If it sinks down to the bottom, guys, that means you have high porosity hair. So low porosity hair at the top, medium to normal porosity hair in the middle, and high porosity hair if it sinks to the bottom, okay? That's the second test. And typically, if you have low porosity hair and you do what you're supposed to do, like deep condition your hair and do like a good, moisturizer and sealant, then your hair can actually be shiny, guys. It can be shiny, it can be moisturized, and really retain that moisture like it should. Now, normal to high porosity hair, you're really going to have, more so with high porosity hair, a lot of frizz and a lot of dryness, because the same moisture that you put into your hair did a good job doing that, but guess what? It's coming right back out. If you have low porosity hair, you do not want to do apple cider vinegar rinses on your hair. Apple cider vinegar closes your hair shaft, okay? It closes that cuticle. So if it's already closed, we need it to open. We don't want to do anything that's going to close it more, okay? And not allow that moisture to get in after you've washed your hair. Everything is just going to sit on your hair. All the moisturizer, the oil that you put on there is just going to sit on there. So it might feel a little bit moisturized right after you do your hair, but then that next day, or maybe even before then, it's going to be dry, and you don't want that. So apple cider vinegar rinses on low porosity hair is a no-no. Don't do that. Also, cold water rinses after you put your conditioner or deep conditioner on your hair. If you have low porosity hair, you don't want to rinse your hair with cold water. That's more so for people that have high porosity hair, because those cuticles are open and they want their hair to close and shut, okay? So if you need a good scalp cleansing, you might want to do a baking soda rinse, and I might even do a video about that. But a baking soda rinse will actually open your cuticles, which is what we want, so that moisture can get in there, but it also cleanses your scalp and it cleanses your cuticles really, really well. So if you have low porosity hair, you might want to lean more toward the baking soda rinses. And if you have high porosity hair, then you want to lean more toward the apple cider vinegar rinses. Either or, but first of all, do the test to find out what type of porosity you have, and then you can take the steps that you need to take in order to really get your hair moisturized and get it shiny and, really take good care of it and have it nice and healthy, okay? All right, guys, so let's talk about pH balance. The average person has a scalp pH balance of about 4 to 5.5. Your hair shaft or scalp is actually pretty acidic. And the same with apple cider vinegar rinses. Apple cider vinegar has a pH of below 7, and a basic pH of substance will be baking soda. So this is why baking soda will be good for a person with low porosity hair, because it has a pH level of above 7, which means it's really going to open your cuticles and get the moisture in there that needs to be in there. Now, if you have high porosity hair, an apple cider vinegar rinse is definitely for you, because it's going to shrink up those cuticles so that the moisture that you put into your hair is not going to easily be able to escape out. Okay, if that makes sense, guys. Hopefully it was something in here that you didn't already know, so that now you can improve your hair care routines. And if you knew everything that was in this video already, then just give this video a thumbs up. You guys can send me a message, but definitely subscribe, okay? If you like the content of this video, subscribe and support me, guys, okay? Encourage me as I encourage you. Pray for me as I pray for you. And I'll be seeing you all soon.